And then it's going to be Coyd, who goes into 7th, 2 seconds off the pace again, as Dropux then goes into 5th, ahead of Tarantino. And Tarantino now, meanwhile, is on his way. I don't think he's on a push lap at the moment, though. We'll just have a little look here for Wilkinson, who looks like he is on a push lap. 2 green sectors being displayed by the McLaren on his way through the bus stop and out of it. And it's 4th place for the McLaren car. Now, just have a little look. I think Danny here, who is driving the Ferrari this week, and he is in 6th place. And then Statlev also making his way through with some green sectors on his first lap in a session. He is qualifying banned from the main qualifying due to a penalty point accumulation, but he's able to keep going for the sprint. So, or maybe he's not actually, as he's bailing into the pits. I don't know, because I asked the question to Deep Moon, but I didn't see the response because I was trying to fix everybody's names to make sure they were okay. And Harley now to run it to the line, and Harley is in 15th place for him. Let's have a little look back here. Steverix just put in a purple first sector, as this is Bryn Evans driving for Mercedes now, and he looks like he's going mega quickly in the middle part of the lap. 51.2, much quicker than Steverix has done, but Steverix going even quicker behind. So interested to see the battle here. And Evans to the bus stop, get the braking, get the turn in these damp conditions. Not easy. And traction to the line, and it's quickest by just under 0.7 of a second, as there is Miguel crossing the line, and then we have soon to be Wilkinson, who's actually bailing into the pits. Danny here is carrying on, and I think he's on a slight improvement on this current lap. I don't think it'll put him up any places. I know he finds a lot of time in the last sector, purple last sector, and he goes on to the second row as it stands at the moment. Now, Mythos Speed, he's on an outlap. What about XR Rambo? He's found a heap of time in the middle sector. Should get him up quite a lot of places. And it does. It is 7th place for XR Rambo as Tarantino sets a purple first sector. And there is Julian back driving the Red Bull and going into 17th place. And Harley now, don't think he's on a push lap. He lost a heap of time in the first sector. We'll have a little look here to see the next car. Jarvis Coyd, I think, is on a push lap. Green in the first sector. Brown Stavelo down now on the important run towards Blanchimont. And it kind of makes it more of a corner when it's wet, because it should still be able to keep it pinned, but if the rain was heavier, you would have to try and carry the speed. Quite slow though, it seemed, into that corner, kind of killed momentum. Maybe setting up one final lap as well at the same time, because he won't get another lap. He is in 7th place as it stands at the moment. And now Perkins just started the last lap. We now see Dropux. All of these drivers will get an extra run if they've got the fuel. And Tarantino to cross the line goes onto the front row as it stands. It's Harris to start his last run. Then it's a Mercedes. It's Miguel. He's actually pitting. Now let's see. The Sauber's just going to start a lap. What about Elyas there? Elyas, he is just starting a lap as well. Danny, meanwhile. Danny, they're all looking to start a lap here towards the end of the session. I can't actually work out who's on a lap. Mythos Speed's not. Rambo, he's not. It's a car park towards the last sector. Nyhus, though, he's on a lap and he won't get another one. And the Aston Martin as well. It's going to be tight to the line. And I think he just about made it there. And Nyhus is the first to the checkered flag. And now we will see Ghosts cross the line. No improvement from Ghosts. Harley, the checkered flag is out. We have major improvements. And those McLarens in the pits are really should have been out there for the session. As I'm seeing in the chat, Rob say that he should have been, but he's not. And he's going to have to try and fight his way back through. Perkins, it looks like a good middle sector from Charlotte Perkins. And now she's got a clear run down towards Blanchemont. No traffic nearby. There's absolute chaos going on in that middle sector. Yellow flag for the Williams there of someone. I think that might have been Andre, who potentially was slowing. Purple sectors continually getting put in. Now it's Evans with the purple middle. Perkins straightens it up, gets to the line. What is it going to be? It's 8th place for Charlotte Perkins with a purple final sector. Drophooks will be next. Drophooks. 2 green sectors. Where can this place the Alpine? It's on to provisional pole. And now we will really see the times tumble because Harris to cross the line. Harris to the front row. As Evans then goes on to provisional pole, it's going to be Coyd who doesn't improve. It's now the Salvers. It's first going to be Donut. Donuts into 6th. Who go to cross the line? Who go with the Williams right behind? Elyas takes provisional pole. Elyas takes provisional pole as Danny goes into 6th and the Red Bull of Mills goes into 3rd. We then have Statlev in the Racing Bulls who is doing a lap. He's 18th. Mythos Speed to cross the line moves up a place to 19th. And then we have Rambo who looks to be slowing. The Red Bull of Kanan Todorovic who already took the flag. And everybody has finished their laps, I think, and it is Elyas taking pole position for the sprint with a 152.4, and he's done it. The Williams once again to the front of the field in RFC, and this time it's the sprint. Bryn Evans will line up alongside. It's a great qualifying from Drophooks there in 4th. Mills just ahead in 3rd. And there we go. It's pole for the Williams once again. We're going to move towards the sprint race. And I don't know what the conditions are going to be, but, well, it'll be interesting to see for sure. There we go then. Those were the things. Those were the people with the purple sectors, even though the sector times are not displaying. And there we go. Let's just scroll through any incidents, and then I'll just quickly... I want to quickly check if my screenshot thing is working. It is. All the people putting skull emojis probably right now, but I don't care. I like it. Right, I'm just going to get... There we go. Right, the sprint looks like it's in dry conditions. Unless it just suddenly downpours, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And we will have a formation lap now, so that will give us a little chance just to kind of suss out what's happening. Okay. Time for the sprint race. With the Williams leading them away. It's an 8-lap sprint race. Big medium tides, probably Mythos Speed leaving the session now, but I've made him add me on Steam so we can just easily join back when that happens. Okay. I wonder if we're just waiting for Mythos to get back in. La 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 la. I can see in the bottom right the Mythos Speed's just started up the game again. So, I mean, we have got a formation lap, so I'm waiting for Mythos. No, well, as we wait, use command !SRC and !VSE for discount codes for setups. It's not working for James. It works for me. Hang on. Hang on. This is going to be embarrassing now. It doesn't work. Oh, no, wait. I need... It resets every time. God's sake. No, hang on. I'm determined to prove this right. There we go. Definitely was working the whole time. Definitely did not just set that to work. Just set that up right now. The driver standings one doesn't work because I didn't have time to type out everything this time. Yeah, I just set it up to work as you were typing it. That's why everything was going mad on the screen. Well, there we go. Hard tyres for the pole sitter. And also hard tyres for Donut here. And also hard tyres for Charlotte Perkins. You can also use ! Discord, but it's not gonna... I mean, you're already in the Discord. It's not like you need to join the Discord. I don't know what Miguel did, to be honest. Just didn't have a good lap. Anyway, well, looking at this, I can see the fuel. We have differences in fuel. For example, Rob in 12th in the McLaren, he's got 18.4 fuel. So that must be kilograms or something. And then we're seeing people like Bryn with 21.0 and Mythos with 23.2. So obviously that's the default because he's AI. But interesting. But anyway, we're on the formation lap and we'll be soon getting underway. A few drivers already been set back to their spots already. There we are. We got an Alpine there. It's being set back. The Alpine of Cloyd. There's also the Aston Martin of Rambo. It's been set back, I think. But here we go then. Elyas angling his car straight towards the racing line. And then Bryn Evans angling his car straight back the other way. Yeah, Alex is the Red Bull in third. And, well then, the sprint is just 5 lights away. Oh no, my word, it's happened again. The lights have got out at late. Lights out, and away we go. And Evans is sneaking up the inside into the first corner. There's a yellow further back as they all snake around, and Evans leads the race, leads the sprint on the opening lap from Alex in the Red Bull, and then it's Rio Harris in the Ferrari. I don't know if the lights were just glitched for me or glitched for everyone, but the lights certainly did not go at the right time. And Elyas, they're already in the slipstream. Oh, Rio Harris onto the grass as they go into the Lecombe chicane, and Mills trying to fight the lead with Evans, and Evans just gets back through into the lead of this sprint. But they're going to go wheel to wheel down into this downhill right-hander towards No Name, and Evans is just ahead of Mills. Evans leads on the opening lap here today. Elyas, the pole sitter, down into third, as I don't know if anyone had a bit of an unfair start there, but we'll just keep at it anyway. And I think the Red Bull is potentially having a look down the inside. He's trying to set Tarantino offline. Kalin and Tovic here looking to dive up the inside, maybe into Stavolo. Not on this occasion. Bryn Evans picking up the gravel, and that won't be doing him any good already today. And oh, the Alpine is trying to break the toe, I think. Trying to stop Danny from getting through. Wilkinson battling away, moved up a few places already on the opening lap, as there goes Danny trying to fight the Alpine. Harris being overtaken there, I think, or just trying to get a place. And Elyas now switches back to the outside as Evans defends going into La Source. And now Alex does lead the race in the Red Bull. Down through Oru, side by side there between Elyas and Harris, up to the top of Radion now, and Harris is ahead. And now Harris trying to get up into second place. Mills trying to block him off. Through then goes Evans into the lead. Mills is going to try and brave this around the outside, and he has done. Mills back into the leads that he did get going into the first corner. And Mills now leading from Bryn Evans. Harris unable to make the move that he wanted to, and he was on the grass a bit. And yeah, that was... It's been a chaotic few laps. Kalin and Tovic onto the gravel, and that might allow Wilkinson up the inside into Pouon, and it has done. Going now towards the Lefania chicane, and there's damage there to the end plate of Steverex in the McLaren, who just sneaked by, and then he made contact with the Red Bull. So damage there for the chrome liveried McLaren. And that is not ideal at all. As Mills down through Blanchimont has a half a second lead. Harris pretty close to Bryn Evans here. Evans might be getting challenged as Harris looks to the outside. Harris looking to get past his closest rival for the title. 24 points separating them. And Harris is going to try and take the racing line going into La Source. And he can't quite, because Evans has covered that off, but Mills is now getting away. He's got a 9/10 of a second lead on lap 3 here as they go through Eau Rouge into the top of Radion once again. And Evans has got the DRS. Elyas pretty close as well to Harris. And further back, this DRS train going quite far, and there's almost 3 wide going into the Lecombe chicane. It is going to be a battle between Ghosts and Hugo here, and they run side by side, slight touch, and that's going to allow Harley to slip by on Senior Ghosts as well. So loads going on here. Tough to keep track of everything. And now Dropbox has dropped out of DRS of the car ahead, which is Danny. So he's going to have to try and fight that back, otherwise he's going to be under threat from the quick Williams and also the 2 McLarens, the orange McLaren of Wilkinson looking to get by Steverex in that chrome-coloured car. I guess we can see who is which one quite easily because of that, but there we go. And Rio Harris has now dropped out of DRS range of Evans. But can he get it back going down through Blanchimont towards the bus stop? I think he might be able to, you know. We'll check the ERS levels. Harris trying to see if he can get back within the range. It would be so crucial, but I don't think he is. He might get it under braking. It's just over a second, and that could be costly because Evans and Mills are now breaking away, and Elyas might be having to shape for a move and trying to get up into those sprint podium places. Evans really on the charge on the last lap, getting away from Harris, and there's battle once again involving Ghosts, Hugo, and also Harley there, going down into turn 1. But now onto the Kemmel straight. There might be a swap for the lead. There's wheel banging here as the Williams of Andre tries to get by on dropbooks, and there's so many cars going off dropbooks. Oh, the chrome McLaren of Steverex gets spun, and the other one, I think, they both in the wars. Wilkinson dropping down numerous places. Steverex also coming out worse of that. Elyas has also got past Rio Harris on the Kemmel straight on that lap as all that was going on, and now we see Miguel. But yeah, Ghosts involved in this battle further back. We'll watch a battle for the front few positions for a little while, because otherwise we're going to lose track of what's actually happening. I'm already losing track because I'm having to try and talk over all of this. And now Kalin and Tovic quite close to Dropbox. The leaders have once again formed this train down towards the bus stop again. And there we go. As Evans with a full battery on his car, so he's going to be looking racy. Elyas though as well, I'm sure, trying to fight back after losing the lead early on. In the background, it's the two Ferraris almost grappling there, and Harris is ahead of Danny still, but it's not too far between them. And now we'll just quickly have a little look at their ERS levels before you might see a change of leads, because Evans now has burned some of his ERS. Mills, though, out of ERS now. He's charging up, and he's not going to be close enough to make a move on this lap. Elyas just behind as well, using all of the track to try and wrestle that Williams up into these top places. He won the last race at Imola, and now he's looking to start this Spa event off to the best possible way. And yeah, let's see if there's a battle further back. Everyone kind of maintaining position. We get a bit of a hold and lull, and then everything kicks off as we head down towards the bus stop, and also we head down towards Les Comps on the next lap. So all about managing ERS, and Bryn and Elyas have done exactly that. They both have full ERS between them, both of them. They both have full batteries. Alex doing that, but it's just going to take a couple of laps for him to work that. He might have to forgo the lead if he is to just, you know, manage his ERS. He's running out, and Evans now under pressure from Elyas, who's going to the outside. It's almost wheel banging between the Mercedes and the Williams, and Elyas trying to get the traction. Bryn Evans is ghosted, and Elyas still in the fight, but he's not going to be able to get the move. Bryn Evans holds on to second place, but Elyas is so close to the Mercedes car. Mercedes looking to get back to the top with the signing of Bryn Evans. Bryn Evans, who won the race in Hungary, of course, and was on the podium as well in Canada on his opening race. And now we are going to see Bryn Evans putting a defensive shape. Elyas also looking to get by, and they maintain their positions at the moment. Further back, that's Kalin and Tovic going for a move on dropbooks. There's contact between the pair of them, and Kalin and Tovic can't quite get the move. On that occasion, Dropbooks trying to hold on to that last point scoring position in 8th, and he is doing that at the moment, but he needs to try and catch up to Statlev here and get into DRS. Kalin and Tovic going for a move potentially towards Puon. He can't quite manage it, on this occasion. He is giving it everything to get past the Alpine, who is going to be costing him time. He wants to catch back up to Statlev, does Kalin Tovic. Statlev, what a race he's had so far, making up so many positions, maybe on that first lap where there seemed to be all sorts of chaos happening in terms of just the connection of the lobby or something, where people were going everywhere. And now Kalin Tovic, he might go for a move towards the bus stop. Of course, he wants to have the DRS help as well. Miguel's literally right behind as well. Down towards the bus stop, Miguel's going to go to the outside as Kalin Tovic shapes up the inside of the Alpine, and Miguel's going to try and sneak through. There is the Sauber of Donut, who's had something happen as it's 3 wide down towards the first corner. Miguel trying to go round the outside. Miguel looking to fight by. Miguel taking 8th. Kalin Tovic following suit on the Alpine, and now down the Kemmel straight we go, with Elyas trying to get by on Evans, but Mills and Evans play it smartly and they're able to keep their respective positions. Because of that, they blocked off both lanes of the track and they were able to keep that position. Side by side into Lecom, it's Miguel and Wilkinson. Wilkinson with damage on his car. And now also Coyd trying to get by down into the downhill right. And Ghosts now looking up the inside of Coyd as Wilkinson goes up the inside of Miguel. They're going wheel to wheel towards No Name. You can't really fit 2 cars through there. And Wilkinson has to try and back out for the time being as they go down towards Pouon. And Ghosts is not far behind either. And they've really dropped off from Statlev now as Wilkinson gets passed by Ghost. Wilkinson's looking for a move up the inside. He can't quite brake late enough with that damage. We're on the penultimate lap of this sprint. And, well, we're seeing a battle for the last points position, but the top 5 are all still within this DRS train, which they've held for a long time. And Mills looks like he is going to be leading them on to this final lap of this sprint. Mills has a 0.3 of a second lead. Make that 0.4 as he's going to make his way down towards La Source. He doesn't have a lot of ERS. He's going to be under pressure from numerous cars as they go through Eau Rouge to the top of Radion and down to Lecom. Let's see what's going to happen then. Mills is already under pressure. Bryn Evans just 0.3 behind. Elyas only a couple more tenths behind him as well. And Evans is going to take to the outside. Evans takes the lead of the sprint. Can Elyas fight by? He's not quite able to on this occasion. Is the fight going to go down to the bus stop? Harris and Danny maintain their current positions as we'll quickly go towards Lecom now. Kalin Tovic trying to defend. Dropbook's fainting to the inside, goes over the gravel. That could allow Miguel to have a look here. Miguel not quite able to. We'll quickly switch back and see the fight down towards Pouon. It's still close, and Mills is not going to give this up even without his ERS help, really. He doesn't have a lot of ERS remaining. He's going to have to conserve that ERS to the best of his ability through this chicane and then through Stavolo and the crucial traction point on the final lap. Evans leading the sprint on the run down towards Blanchimont. Mills already going to be out of ERS. Elyas might be able to gain. He's got the ERS advantage, and he's got a lovely slipstream as well through Blanchimont. He's going to go to the outside line. He's going to try and fight by into second place. There's contact between Mills and Evans as Mills runs into the back of Evans, and Elyas might get passed by Rio Harris as Bryn Evans wins the Belgium sprint from Rio Harris, who managed to get that position on the very final lap of the race. Elyas there from pole to third. Danny rising 3 places to 4th. Mills in 5th. Andre Tarantino in 6th. Statlev and Kalin Tovic round off the points. But Bryn Evans has won the sprint. And he's managed to hold on as Elyas and Mills fought into that last bus stop chicane. And it was contact between the 2 future teammates that might have, Mills running back of Evans, trying to hold on. He was on the inside. Elyas had the racing line, had the more grip at that part of the track, had those hard tyres as well, of course, and he was able to get the car stopped and try and get around the outside as Mills, tried to hang on. But there we go. That is the sprint race. And well, we've got another qualifying, and then we have another 22 laps of that to come, so don't go anywhere. Well then, welcome back to RFC round 7, and it's time for qualifying now for the Belgian Grand Prix. So let's see what's going on. Dry weather in this session, and well, we have about just under 16 minutes to see what these drivers can do and see if they can see how they do compared to the sprint qualifying, which is obviously in the wet. And yeah, let's hang on. Where did Mills go? Let's see his lap, because he's obviously the first one out there. Down towards the first corner on the medium compounder tyres for Mills, so electing to go for that instead of go for the softs, because obviously this is a short qualifying session. Front wing damage potentially for Harley on his outlap somehow. I did see Miguel retire, so he's in the pits, is he? I'm not entirely sure what's gone on there, because obviously here the qualifying bans, he's not qualifying banned, he's not even he's done one race I think this season, so I don't know. Anyway, Mills into this next no-name corner. You may call it Jackie X corner, but Mills now. Is Miguel qualifying banned? Because Miguel's not. Unless someone just qualifying banned in like live. Well, I've not been looking. And there we go, Mills. Down to the curb, Wolf-Rare. Down towards Wanchemont. Oh, and here we go. As I'm reading that message, and I do remember what happened now, actually. There's an Aston Martin there, Ghosts, right on the racing line, I think. And Ghost has been disqualified for going the wrong way. Yeah, I do remember that in Australia. Yeah, because he did one race, and there was that crash. Yeah. But, well, there we go. we just had a reenaction. They just wanted to show me exactly what had happened, I think. Right. Who's actually on a lap? I think Little Speed is. Danny goes into second. Little Speed, fourth place at the moment. On the soft compound. And about 4 tenths ahead of Perkins. As there is Bryn Evans going into fifth. Steverex crossing the line to go into second. Rambo's on an outlap. Harley is just winding up for a lap now. Did he have that damage? He does have some end plate damage according to that. So, yeah. Let's watch Kalin Lentovic here, who was sacked from Red Bull following the race at Hungary. He's on the Inters at the moment, so he's just getting his eye in, I guess. And, well, he does go ahead of Harley, but obviously Harley had a very slow kind of build lap, it seemed, or something went on that gave him damage. And Coyd now on his way through No Name down towards Pouon. It is a lift and a downshift. Two different cars. The McLaren might be able to take that flat out on a last qualifying run, maybe on low fuel, into the Lafania chicane. Now into Stavelo. Fourth and exits. Car ahead. Keeping out of the way is going to be the Haas there of Charlotte Perkins, and Coyd now down to... Statlev does have a quali ban. And you're right, he is out there on an outlap. And Coyd now into the bus stop. Bounces over the curbs. And gets to the line. It's 6th place at the moment. Seem to have continual yellow flags out there this session. As XR Rambo goes into 9th place. And then we have few more cars making their way to the last corner now, but I don't think anyone's actually pushing on. We'll just have a look now and see potentially Andre going for a run here, the Williams. And yeah, Statler did box. They must have just been having a little look, see what the track's like, and then back into the pits. Tarantino, who was performing well at Imola, but unfortunately got done by the game issue that also harmed Bryn Evans, where the Hugo in the pits had a puncture, was trundling down the pit lane, and then, it was just basically slowed them right down to a halt, and basically cost them both 30 seconds because of that. So that was not ideal. And the Williams clearly trimmed out quite well for that first sector, because that's the main area you can go for a straight line speed setup, or you can go for a slightly more downforce oriented. Anyway, he's lost a second now in the middle part of the lap, but obviously the Williams doesn't quite have the downforce of the McLaren at all. And, well, if you can stay with the straight line speed in the final and first sector, and then just cope with it in the middle. It can work. We saw it from Verstappen in real life. Bit deep there from Tarantino, rounding the bus stop, and cuts the grass a little bit up to the line. Fourth place for the moment, as Mills now to cross the line and go quickest by just under a tenth of a second. We have the Saubers just about going around for a lap, start a lap. Let's just see if people are actually finishing laps. Anyone setting green sectors? I'm not seeing any green sectors at the moment. And here we go. We'll just have a little look and see. Kenny Nantovic, he's on an out lap. Andre just finished his lap. Now, Evans. Let's watch one of the Sauber cars. You may as well. This is Hugo. We've got Donut behind, who did actually set a purple first sector. Hugo a couple of tenths down on that. But it shows Hugo off the track. But he's not invalidated it actually. But we'll have a look at Donut here, because he is on a bit of a cleaner lap, it seems, trying to extract the performance that Skunker did yesterday. Now setting up Stavolo, a little bit hesitant on the throttle, wouldn't grip up. And now on the way down to Blanchimont in the bus stop. It's a 30.4 in the first, 44.5 in the middle. Hugo 2 and 3 tenths down respectively in both of those sectors. And Donut on the brakes into the bus stop and up to the line. Where will it put him? It's 8th place for the moment, so it's not bad at all. And now we will now have a little look at Danny here, who is on another push lap, currently running in 4th. A second, just over a second off the current quickest time, but it seems like Mills and Wilkinson are really on it so far, but obviously time for them to catch up as well. Another purple first sector. Elyas this time. The Williams again performing well in the first sector. Danny now into this nice, quick, fast chicane. You don't want to run it too wide on the exit. It can understeer. And in the Stavolo as well, the gravel's right there. Right out to the green AstroTurf area. And now you'll pick up the toe here from the Haas of Mythos Speed. I don't know if this is a kind of strategy there from the Ferrari team, and Eagle is coordinating something, or whether they're just being smart and doing that themselves. And Danny there goes into 3rd place. And now Kayleen Nantovic up to the line for Red Bull, and it is 5th place for him. And then Elyas seems to be on a quick lap again, and we'll now see his run to the bus stop. And he goes into 3rd, just over a tenth off the quickest time, as Evans down there in 6th position at the moment. So not quite where he might want to be, but it's okay for the time being. Now, let's see who's actually on a lap. Harris on an out lap. No green sectors for anyone so far. So Statlev in the pits, obviously. Miguel, Statlev, and Senor Ghost won't be doing any laps. 2 qualifying bans and also 1 disqualification, which came about due to him facing the wrong way after contact down there at the bus stop. But let's watch Harris then on a first qualifying run of this short qualifying session. We've had the sprint. We're now into the qualifying for the main race. 22 laps to come around the Circuit Spa Francorchamps. And here is Harris to the top of Radion. Comfortably flat out, of course. And now looking to get the DRS Open down to Les Combes. And 213 miles an hour, seeing slightly outside of Mills's time, but it's a good first sector for sure. And Harris now dances his way through Malmedy down into, I think this corner called Bruxelles or something like that, and now down into No Name. Tries to flick the car in. It's difficult to grip up that corner. And now into Pouon. A downshift. Keeps it pinned though. Ferrari comfortably able to do that. Into Lafagna. Trying to get it anchored in. Avoids the curbs on the inside of both of those apexes. Right over the curb. It's Stavolo. He's 6/10 down though on Mills. So far on this lap, so Harris will not be anywhere near the front two rows as at the moment the championship leader. Championship leader by 24 points over Bryn Evans. Bryn Evans just moving teams as well. Could be a close one as we get into the second half of the season after this round. We have the season break as well. Harris crosses the line. It is 7th place for Rio Harris, as Charlotte Perkins is on an outlap, Troperks is on an outlap, Andre is on an outlap, Harley is on an outlap, so nobody's actually going for it at the moment. So let's have a look at Charlotte Perkins here, because she is on her way down towards Eau Rouge on what could be a last qualifying run. 2.7 kilograms of fuel, I think is what the readout I'm getting is. So this will probably be a last run. No more time after this. Looking to get a clear run. And now down towards Les Combes. And just a 1/10.5 down on Mills. But this is where the time really is. It's the middle part of the lap where the car's downforce is really going to be most stated. You will really see the time difference here. Through No Name, right out to just before the gravel, not in the gravel, fortunately for her. Through Pouon, right out to the curb again, down to this next chicane. Tried to use all of the track. Slightly misses the apex of the first part. Close to the apex of the second part, out to the curb, back over to the left for Stavolo. Touches the grass, not ideal, washes out into the gravel. That's going to be costly for Perkins, because this is now going to cost her all the way down, but there is another helping hand here. Harris is going to give the tow. Harris here is towing Charlotte Perkins along, and Perkins might even do the same for Harris when he starts his lap, because I think Harris is going to go for another one on the same tyres. Bit wobbly into the bus stop, right over those curves for Perkins, crosses the line, and it is 14th place still for the Haas. And now I'll have a little look towards who's actually starting up. I think Harley here, down towards Eau Rouge on a last run to the top of Radion down the Kemmel Straight. This is where we'll see Formula 1 cars at their very best, dancing on the limit, potentially over the limit, but you've got to try and get the lap time out of it. Something's happened there to Rio Harris at Eau Rouge Radion. I don't know exactly, he's just retired there, so no idea what's gone on, but anyway, that's his session over. He is 7th at best, the championship leader. As Harley, down through No Name, down towards Pouon. We'll have a look at the throttle trace. Does lift, downshift. That's the capability of the Racing Bulls. And now a lot closer to that apex than we saw from Charlotte Perkins. Modulates the throttle. Purple sectors going in left, right and centre. As Harley down through Stavolo, through the curve Paul Frere, and on the run towards Blanchemont and the bus stop. He has some ERS to use after Blanchemont, I presume, and then also up to the line. So unless he were really running out of ERS by this point, he's going to save it for the run to the line. spots the final braking point just after the 100 meters, I think, even there for Harley. Straightens it up, full power, up to the line, and it is P12 for Harley as Kalin Nantovic is next. He did briefly set a purple first sector. Donut stole that away, and now Kalin Nantovic to the line. It's the second row in fourth at the moment. We'll see XR Rambo next across the line as a snake of cars between Puon and the bus stop at the moment. Rambo on his way through the bus stop and up to the line. Perkins has run out of fuel, I think, so she's just trying to let everyone by. Rambo to 13th. It's going to be Donut. Donut to 9th. It is Mills to improve his lead on pole position. Mythos Speed goes into 10th as Elyas then takes provisional pole away from the Red Bull. Danny is in 5th as Steverex then takes provisional pole. Is there any answer for anyone else? Wilkinson going quickly. That is Andre in 10th. Can Wilkinson take pole? No, he can't. And it is going to be a pole position for Steverex here, because Hugo's going to cross the line. It's 17th for him. And it is Steverex taking pole position for McLaren. And he's done it. It swapped between those top three. Mills improved his lead. Elyas beat his time, but then Steverex, right at the death, was able to take that pole position. And there we go. We see Rob is saying that he was impeded on his lap, so I wonder if that will be looked into as well, because yeah, I did wonder, he did lose time in the last sector. I don't know if that's where he was impeded, because there's so much going on. Just trying to see who was actually on a lap at the time. There we go. But there we go, Steverex to the top. Yeah, so there we can see Rob saying he was impeded in the middle sector and then nearly dropped it out of the third sector split. So that'll be where he lost that time. But he's still on the second row, and that is not a bad position to be at Spa. Here we go then, formation lap to begin. When the lights go on, but the lights don't even illuminate. There's no green, no green lights appear, nothing. But there we go. Let's have a little look then. Tyres just about to come through. I think everyone's on the mediums apart from Jarvis Coyd, but I'll see it in a second when the data comes through into the game. There we go. Championship leader Rio Harris is down in 8th. There we go, there's the tyres. It is Coyd on the hards, everyone else on the medium tyres. And Steverex in that chrome McLaren will be leading them down, and for his sake he'll want to be leading. Well, I mean, I guess do you really want to be leading going through Eau Rouge, but he does want to get away well. Try and fight it. Elyas, though, has been quick in the straights. We've seen before in qualifying him doing purple first sectors, suggesting a good straight line speed. And we'll have to see. So there we go. We can at least differentiate the McLarens, even if that's not technically legal in F1. Let's say it's fine. As much as it kind of ruins the continuity, at least for my sake, I can work out who everybody is. So, qualifying band people, Statlev and Miguel, and then we also got Ghosts who got disqualified because of that contact. Who is that, actually? Statlev is actually way back here, so no idea what's going on there. No one's been reset to their grid spot yet. How exciting. And now getting that temperature in, down to the bus stop, and then they will all form up, and we might see some more dramatic lineups. And now, yeah, they shouldn't get the reset now because they're ghosted. And it will be almost time to get ready for the race. Yeah, Steverek's very straight lineup compared to what we've seen. Elyas slightly to the right of his box. I mean, to be fair, Steverek's is kind of to the right of his box as well. But there we go. We'll get ready to go. Just a few moments' time. Formation lap has been done, and now the lights go on. We have 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go here at Spa. And it looks like Steverek is maintaining his lead on the inside as Elyas looks around the outside. Bryn Evans diving up the inside, trying to get a position potentially. He has got past Wilkinson already, the McLaren. The McLaren has been passed, and now through Eau Rouge and Radion on the opening lap, and Elyas looks like he's very close. Alex is also very close to the race lead as Steverek goes defensive, and Elyas is going to have to roar around the outside if he is to take the lead, and he's doing that just. And Alex goes wide, and that might allow Bryn Evans to take the place. Alex goes into the gravel as there's battling between Harris, who's lost a place. He's lost a place that he already gained, but he is already up from where he started. Mills battling with Wilkinson now. Evans has got past. And now the Ferraris potentially side by side going down to Eau Rouge and going very wide. There is Danny, but he's kept his position. And now down to the Lefania chicane for the first time. We have potential side by side action here. But they will file their way through, and Steverek has maintained that lead that he got due to getting pole. He's not lost the lead, and he's already stretched his advantage to about 0.8 of a second over Elyas on the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. They file their way through pretty cleanly, and now we'll just see if anyone's making a late dive. Doesn't look like it just yet. Oh, further back, we have Hugo and Miguel making up a place. Momentum slightly killed, and they might still go side by side here. Further back, we have the Alpines as well, swapping positions. Wilkinson trying to fight by on Danny, or maybe Danny trying to fight by on Wilkinson, sorry. And Wilkinson putting up a fight to defend, but Danny now in the slipstream. And also Donut is in the slipstream of the Red Bull in the background. It's going to be Danny potentially getting the move, and it is Donut ahead then of Kaylee Nantovic on the second lap of the race. So who would have thought that? Sauber up into 8th and moving up a place from where he started, and that is a great start for him. Miguel and Ghost swap over towards the bottom half. But here we go on lap 2 through Pouon, and Steverek maintaining his lead, but Elyas is right there, Bryn Evans is right there. This is going to be a race-long battle probably, so we can't get too excited about much, but they're all going to maintain their train, I'm sure. And if there's a break in the train, that could be where we see the battles really start to happen. Steverek trying to stretch that lead, and he has got it to 0.9 of a second, but Elyas has better straight line speed, I think, and he's able to use the ERS which he saved up during the middle part of the lap, and he's just able to get back. and comfortably maintain DRS. And now further back we have Miguel looking to the outside potentially, and Hugo runs in a bit deep. Can Miguel cut back? Miguel with DRS, Hugo with DRS as well. Miguel's going to go to the inside of the source. Hugo breaks late, again goes a bit deep, and they're going to run wheel to wheel now down towards Eau Rouge, and someone's going to have to back down. Miguel with better speed, you think, should get ahead, and does get ahead of the Sauber, but the Sauber might actually get a run back. But actually, it looks like Ghosts is getting the run down the Kemmel Straight, and Ghosts has got that run, as Kalin Nantovic has also got back past on Donut there. So the place didn't last long for the Sauber. And Hugo fighting back through on Ghosts. And now diving to the inside, Statlev looking to get up another place. Statlev, oh, and Senor Ghosts is sent tumbling to the rear of the field. Don't know what's gone on there, but I think he made contact with Statlev. Down into Bruxelles, I think is the name of the corner. And Statlev now running in 16th place from where he started there in 18th. So, Steverex once again maintaining his lead. A lot of VRS being managed, I think, from these drivers towards the front. Elyas as well, potentially, well, particularly doing well with his ERS like he did last week. Just always making sure he's got enough. Rio Harris very close to Danny. Danny's going to make way for the championship leader. In the same car, Danny driving for Ferrari after being sacked by Mercedes as they brought in Bryn Evans. And also Ferrari sacked James Nyhus, who then was potentially driving today again, but for Red Bull, but in the end that didn't happen. And now Hugo is in the pits, and Rambo and Harley, and Rambo goes in deep, and that's going to allow the place for Harley and Miguel. And now we'll see down the Kemmel Straight, down to the Lecombe chicane, and Elyas now is going for the race lead, I think, to the outside line. They give each other space, just about. They squeeze wheel to wheel, and Elyas trying to fight around the outside of Malmedy, and they're still wheel to wheel, as Elyas is going to have to settle in behind. Steverex runs deep. Elyas can't quite get the cut back and get the run down towards No Name, and he'll have to keep into second place. Bryn Evans now might be invited to fight, because obviously Elyas burned some of the ZRS to do that move, but Evans is not moved, and Evans has got a full charge still of ERS. So there we are. The lead change potentially happened, but then Steverex fought back with anger and was able to maintain that lead. You can see how close they are pushing it to the gravel on the exit of Stavolo, leaving no margin at all. It's the way you've got to do it in order to get the lap time, but it is, if you are a millimetre wrong, you might be ending up in the gravel. Danny here particularly close to Harris, but he's not going to fight, and they've got the gap now to Kalin Nantovic. It looks like the Red Bull of Mills potentially running in a bit deep there, maybe, and Wilkinson might be invited here to have an overtake, but he's not on this occasion. And they maintain their formation, and Steverex once again is going to lead them down through Eau Rouge on lap 5 of 22. And Elyas this time seems to be that much closer, and this time he's going to get into the DRS, the slipstream. He's going to go to the inside, going into the Lecombe chicane, and he's going to pull ahead, going into the corner. Steverex trying to fight it late on the brakes, on the racing line. Can he do the same thing again? Elyas this time is further ahead, but once again, Steverex is able to maintain his lead of the race. He was so brave on the brakes there, going through the Lecombe chicane into Malmedy, and got the power down to maintain that lead. Could this allow Bryn Evans to have a look now? Bryn Evans still just sitting there behind with his 100% battery, just watching along. And both Elyas and Steverex now on a bit of a recharge, because they used their ERS in that battle. And there we go. It is Elyas with more ERS. Steverix having to use his to defend. And now through Stavelo again, through the curve pull for air, down towards Blanchimont. As I wonder if someone is going to try and break the train. Is Rio Harris. Not quite got ERS, but neither does. The Red Bull ahead, and he is gaining. And he might have a dive into the bus stop. He is. And Alex goes off. Alex braking. Goes straight on at the bus stop. And how many places is that going to cost him? He goes into the pits there. I wonder what happened there. Surely his plan wasn't to pit, I don't think, at this point of the race, but he braked, went on to the curb, went straight on. When he rejoined, he pitted, and now the Red Bull down to last position after this stop, and he's on a two-stop strategy there, you'd think, as he puts on some medium tyres. I think they might even be mediums he already used during maybe another session. That might be the one he used in the first running qualifying, I think, actually. But there we go, the train slightly broken, and Kalin and Tovic at the rear of this. And there we see on the Kemmel Straight the Racing Bulls drivers swapping around. Harley now in 15th place. And there we go. Full charges for both Elyas and Evans as they just loom behind, looking to use it when we get into the pit stop phase, I guess. That will be when they really need to unleash, and it might be a battle of one stop versus two stop potentially. I mean, we did see one stop kind of prevail yesterday, but obviously, you know, it might, if you can really push hard and make the most of the two stop, it can work. But you've got to commit to it early, otherwise you're just wasting time and you're going to cost yourself race time. So down to the bus stop once again. Steverix has led every lap so far from pole, and he's looking to keep on that record. I mean, it's not going to last by the end of the race, because it's surely impossible that someone is not going to get past even now or at the pit stop phase. And Elyas is close, and he might have another run now down to Eau Rouge, Radion, and towards Les Combes. He really flicked that car into that corner and tried to get into that inside apex. And now Steverix slightly burning his ERS to try and fight off the Williams, who is deploying a bit of ERS himself, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move on this occasion. And he's just trying to wear down that McLaren's resilience in this Grand Prix. Steverix maintaining his lead, and we'll have to see when Elyas or maybe Evans might just try and get a move. Wilkinson is also just looming about there, and Harris is also there, the championship leader, of course, leading by 24 points. Well, that was before the sprint, so I don't actually know, but Harris would have extended, no, because yeah, we'll have to work out the points. Yeah, it's about 23 points or something now. But anyway, so Harris, seeing a little thing saying he's on an in lap, so I don't know if he's going to pit at the end of this lap or whether that's just false information, or whether he is on a two-stop strategy here. But that would be interesting if that information was right and he is actually on an in lap. So let's see as he goes into the bus stop, and he doesn't pit, so he ignores that in-lap call or whatever that was. It might just be like the time the game is telling them that their strategy is, because now I'm seeing a load of in things on everyone on my timing screen. So yeah, now I'm seeing it for everyone, because we are in that pit window for those who started on the mediums. If you can get the mediums to last about 10 laps, then you're going to be good on the hards till the end of the race. Hards seemingly a much better tyre here. We saw in the sprint Elyas making good use of them, and that was only an 8-lap sprint, so shows that the hards become better than the mediums after not too long. Here's a move for Coyd, getting past Statlev, and Coyd now up into 12th place in this Grand Prix. Mills ahead of Ghosts. Mills trying to see what he can do to fight back. He is already, though, on 22% tyres, so... And if we look at that, he's 18 seconds off the race lead. I mean, he might get into the lead now due to the undercut. It's not the longest pit lane, biggest pit loss here at all. Here's a long lap. Can make up time with an undercut. And Harris has the fastest lap of the race, supposedly, although another thing's telling me that actually Wilkinson with the fastest lap, so maybe when somebody swaps position or something, it might correct itself. Maybe one of them is wrong. But it doesn't really matter who's got the fastest lap anyway, apart from he might get a little bit of a bonus. And here we go. Here is the undercut from Rio Harris, who is now in the pit lane, and we'll have to see where he goes. Kalin Nantovic also pitting, wanting to make sure he stays in this train. And Steverex is still leading, but now, surely now, the Williams is going to be close enough to try and pull alongside down the Kemmel Straight. And he's got that battery enabled. And Steverex is burning his as well, but it's not going to be enough, because Elyas is now finally going to swoop back to the racing line and take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Steverex. And he's got it done on lap 9. And now, how will the situation turn? How is the ERS looking? They're not. Both of them just trying to recharge through this section. And Bryn Evans as well, just lurking in the background still, like he's been doing for so long in this race. And now Evans pretty close to Steverex. He might get a run down to the bus stop. Maybe is using his ERS a bit now. And, well, I mean, Steverex's tyres, he's lucky he's not going to puncture with his current tyre wear, I think. Look at that tyre wear for Steverex. These are treacherous corners for the McLaren as he looks to get back to the pits in one piece. And he is at the moment, but this is very fine margins, and Evans is lurking right there. And he might get a run to the bus stop. His tyre's slightly in better shape, but all of these might have to pit if they don't want to run the risk of a puncture at all, because they're all going to be hitting puncture territory within about a lap. And there we go. They're all piling in. Everyone's in. So Mills should inherit the lead, as he's going to try and get a move on Stadlev. Wilkinson has to stay out, though. Wilkinson, he's managed his tyres well. He'll make another lap just fine. And Andre is well out there. We have a yellow flag at the bus stop. Maybe an Aston Martin down there. Not entirely sure, but there we go. And Mills now will get DRS help on Coyd. Harris on the hards. Elyas now out of the pits. Harris is ahead of the two race leaders, Elyas and Steverex, and also Evans as well. Evans now particularly close to Steverex, and he's looking to get the move immediately down the Kemmel Straight. And finally Evans has come alive in this race. We have a yellow. It's Wilkinson. Something's happened, I think, to Wilkinson, as Evans now ahead of Kalin Nantovic, who's also got ahead of Steverex. But has something happened here to the McLaren? He's doing okay. I don't know if it was him who lost time, or maybe it was Andre. There's certainly a yellow flag down there at Bruxelles, and that was what happened. And Harris now getting bogged down behind Coyd, and he's going to have to, if he can slip by on the Alpine, this might help him to break away, but I doubt those cars behind are going to let him go. Is he going to look for a move into Stavolo like Lewis Hamilton did in the wet last weekend? He is, and there's a safety car called now. A safety car has been called. Steverex maybe has been involved in an incident that brought out that safety car. I'm not entirely sure, because, yeah, what happened there, I don't know. Hugo is out, but don't think, yeah, I don't know. Hugo retired ages ago, I thought, so nothing to do with that. But now look, Wilkinson, he's locked in. He's got a free stop now. And he should get out into the race lead. Andre as well might get into play. Mills now will be pitting to go to the end, and he'll have better tyres. Those who pitted early are not going to be benefiting from this. And there we go, as Wilkinson exits the pits. And Wilkinson maintains the lead of the race he got by staying out another lap and managing his tyres. It is a fortunate scenario, but it's also not a fortunate scenario because he managed his tyres that much better that he was not actually going to be at risk of a puncture anyway, despite having to stay out the extra lap. So he managed that well. And there we go. We have a safety car here on lap 11. Deployed on lap 10, really, but there we go. Mills is on the soft compounder tyre. So I have no idea what is going on. Is that a mistake? Like that he's put on those tyres? Is the game giving him the wrong tyres, or is he trying to like game it by going on these tyres and then going on his tyres he actually wants and trying to reduce the wear or something? Because he might have to go onto mediums or something. I don't know. We'll wonder about the strategy at another time, but there we go. Let's just see and have a little look at the tyres for everyone. There is the tyres. Let's have a little look at track limits as well. Not too bad, really, considering what we normally have. Yeah, not bad at all. Not many penalties, at least. Wilkinson leading the race. And Harris now has got more worn tyres, so he's going to have to manage those to get to the end, would have thought. And that is the weather forecast. No rain inbound, we just had the rain in the sprint qualifying, that was it. And we're at round 7 here at Spa. Currently under the safety car, which was deployed for, I'm not entirely sure, Steverex, I think. Maybe, because he's down there, and he's the main one I saw dropping down when that safety car was deployed. But he's on the soft tyres now as well, so he might be, yeah, he is pitting again, unsurprisingly. And also Mills is pitting again as well. And Danny's pitting, so there we go. See what tyres they put on as they do put them on. It should appear at the bottom when they get out of the pits. Miguel making up many positions so far. 12 positions gained, not bad at all. And then those at the back losing up heaps of positions, including Steverex. Of course, the pole sitter who maintained the lead for so long, but now running in 18th position along. At least he's got some company back here with Mills. And Danny's Vart as well. Hard tyres as well going on. Coyde's going to have to manage this to the end. Mithil Speed did join back the session, but he's not, I don't know if he's taking control. I think he might have just taken control now, but he's just got to pray that the safety car does not go in right now, because that is his tyre age, and he's not actually, that's his tyre age now. You can see the tyres and the tyre age. There we go. And so, yeah, if the safety car comes in right now, he is going to become done for, because he'll have to take a normal pit stop under normal race conditions and lose the normal pit loss. Anyway, that safety car's kind of brought away some of the strategy that might have been going on, because obviously, you know, there's now everyone's bunched back up. There's no undercuts or anything. Of course, we did have Rob Wilkinson taking the lead. Now through Stavolo, we might get a call. There we go. That is the call that Mithil Speed did not want. Mithil Speed overtaking Danny there. And don't exactly know what's happening there. And there seems to be a huge gap that was produced. And there we go. When is Wilkinson going to get them ready? We saw in real life, you want to be pulling the trigger, really getting out of the bus stop. You don't want to be going before and letting them basically tow their way all the way down to the bus stop and then brake at the bus stop and close in, because you want to be the one deciding the traction point, deciding when to pull the trigger, and that really is out of the bus stop. So he's going to keep everyone slowed. Everyone's behaving well for now. There's slight contact there between Harris and Wilkinson, and here we go. He's taking that wide line that you do to get a good run, and now the Belgian Grand Prix is back underway. And already Bryn Evans is potentially shaping for a move on Elyas, who did defend, and Bryn Evans potentially trying to get in the slipstream now down towards Eau Rouge. Wilkinson has a half a second lead ahead of Rio Harris. Then is Bryn Evans, who's getting a decent run here using his overtake button down the Kemmel Straight. Harris as well looking to get the run on Wilkinson. And Harris is going to go to the inside line. He's going to try and take the lead. He can't, though, as Wilkinson maintains it. And now it's going to bunch up with Elyas trying to get by on Harris and Bryn Evans as well. And Harris still in second place. Wilkinson miles away from the racing line, trying to warm up those hard compound tyres. But it's okay. He's got a decent lead. And he's free now in clean air to try and push away from Rio Harris, who has slightly older tyres, of course. And then Elyas and Evans and Kalinin Tovic. Andre now with a 3-second time penalty we saw flash up. So that's not ideal for him. It looks like Danny Zvart up the inside here on Statlev. The former Red Bull and Mercedes driver go wheel to wheel. Now Ferrari a reserve, and also Statlev reserving for Racing Bulls today. Evans is really close to Elyas as they run down to the bus stop. Harris has dropped out of DRS. Wilkinson getting away already on this safety car restart. And this is exactly not what Elyas and Evans want to see, because they are losing the DRS as well on the race leader. And DRS now enabled. And it doesn't look like Harris is going to have that unless the ERS can come into play. They both have similar levels, but Wilkinson burning and Harris burning, and it's just over a second, I think, as they went through the detection point. It's going to be so close to whether Harris gets DRS. We'll see, though. Down the Kemmel Straight, does Rio Harris get it? He does not have DRS, so now Elyas invited to attack, invited to take second place, and he's done that. Elyas ahead of Rio Harris, now looking to fight back into the DRS range of Wilkinson, but he's had to burn his ERS to do that as well. Further back, we're going to see Mills trying to make the overtake on XR Rambo, the Red Bull ahead now of the Aston Martin, as Evans is close to Rio Harris as well, and Elyas really trying to get the hurry on and try and catch Wilkinson. Wilkinson trying to escape away. ERS pretty even between the pair of them, and Wilkinson trying to recharge a little bit through this section and then try to deploy out of Stavelot down to Blanchemont and the bus stop, and he's got a good run out of Stavelot, it seems, and now he's on the overtake, and Elyas might hold back as Wilkinson sets a purple middle sector on his run away, and now he has got a 1.3 second lead over Elyas there, and it's 1.2. It's going to close in to just under 1.2 as they hit the brakes at the bus stop. And Wilkinson is over a second clear of Elyas on lap 15. And this is absolutely crucial, this race going on between them to try and get DRS and keep him away from DRS. Because the McLaren proving very resilient for the Williams who won last week at Imola and now has a 1.3 second lead. Something's happened to Mills. Mills has lost part of his front wing there. And now down the Kemmel Straight, we go on board with Evans trying to take third place from Rio Harris, late on the brakes, trying to overtake his championship rival. He goes off, cuts the chicane. Harris has to take the place back because of that. And Evans still might dive here into Bruxelles. And he's trying to get alongside, going into No Name. One of them's going to have to back down. The two championship contenders side by side, almost into the gravel. Evans ahead of Harris, but now he has lost DRS on Elyas, and that might just ease the pressure on Elyas and help him in his fight to get back within the DRS of the McLaren. It's so close between the McLaren and the Williams in terms of DRS, but Wilkinson doing a perfect job, it seems, just to eke that gap out and then have the ERS to get the run down to the bus stop and then maintain his advantage, and he's doing a good job at the moment. Ghosts here getting past Coyd. Ghosts now running in 10th. He started at the back after being disqualified from qualifying after an impeding incident, which will probably be looked at. And Harris now looking to fight back on Evans. We can see the change in how the race has worked since the safety car restart. No one's got really any ERS now at this point compared to before, when obviously everyone had tons of ERS basically, and now they've really got to move on, and everyone is burning, and burning they are. And Wilkinson still maintaining a gap which he needs to keep and needs to keep trying to maintain. Harris now looking to go back on Evans. Evans defends on the inside line, able to brake late enough to maintain his position going into the Lecombe chicane and through Malmedy. Evans still in the podium place, and Elyas is now about 2 seconds ahead of Evans, so Evans really isn't able to close back up without the help of DRS, and that could be a crucial point. And now it's just a battle for third really, unless something happens to one of the top two. And Wilkinson now 1.2 seconds clear, and he's trying his best. He is slightly quicker on the last lap, and it looks like again he is slightly eking that gap out again. He lost time in the first sector, gained it straight back in the middle part of the lap, where the McLaren is such a strong car with its downforce capabilities. And Harris is with Evans again, but Evans, he's just dropping back. He can't keep within. He can't keep near the Williams, and it looks like Andre might be involved in this fight as well. He's still within DRS. Danny is ahead of Miguel, and also Donut still running in the points for Sauber. Andre with a 3-second time penalty. Esteverex makes contact there with Ghosts, I think, down the main straight, and that was almost another safety car. Esteverex is facing the wrong way down there, and Ghosts as well. So Steverix once again not where he wants to be. And Evans trying to defend from Harris again. Harris going the long way around the outside into the Lecombe chicane. He manages to get ahead. Evans will try and keep his nose in, and Evans does into Malmedy. Can Harris cut back towards Bruxelles? He's going to go to the outside line. He's going to try and fight it around the outside towards No Name, but he can't get that place. And Evans is still in the podium places, but now they are leaking so much time to the cars ahead that once again they're not really going to be able to fight them now, because once you drop out of DRS it's just going to be difficult, and now it's a battle, and Harris doesn't want to lose points in his championship battle. Bryn Evans appearing on the grid really. He did appear in Canada when Harris was still racing, but then the two races after in Hungary and also Imola, Bryn Evans was racing and Harris wasn't, but still Harris has done one more race overall than Evans. Will still have done that after this one. But now Evans has managed to recharge a little bit of his battery through the middle part of the lap on this occasion, and Harris is trying to recharge a bit now, but he's got a little bit less. Kelly Mintovic just doing his own race behind, looking to pick up the scraps, and Andre, he's getting out of shape. and losing a place to Danny there as Miguel sizes a move up the inside, and they almost lock on there, and they do both run wheel to wheel side by side, and Miguel is ahead, but I think Andre's just going to get DRS here all by himself, and Harris is now going to try and fight this with Evans again, and it's going to be another move into the Lecomte chicane. He tries to set Evans offline and then cut back towards Malmedy. Steverex and Ghosts both retiring from the race in the pits, I think. Steverex, is he still going? I don't know. Yeah, I think Steverex is still going. Evans still ahead of Harris, who tried the move. Kalin Nantovic just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. Kalin Nantovic getting out of shape, and that's given the place now to Danny. Danny scything through there as Kalin Nantovic goes off track once again. Don't know if he was all four wheels off. Steverex has continued going, is on the soft tyres now. He'll probably pick up the fastest lap. He'll save McLaren a bit of money by not retiring. He'll gain a bit of money by getting the fastest lap. You'd think he'd get the fastest lap now. And now, Elyas trying to make a bit of a surprise burning of ERS down this back straight down to the bus stop, but he's now out of his ERS, and Wilkinson's still over a second ahead with way more ERS to get away. But you don't want to let the Williams into DRS, because even if you have more ERS, if he gets into DRS, it's not really going to matter. He's going to be there for the rest of the race. And he is trying to get back in, is Elyas, and he did gain about half a second on the previous lap. As Harris a little bit far back from Evans. Evans managing his ERS as well. Ferrari looking to get third and fourth in this race. It's really the best possible they can get at this point. And Harris once again is there with Evans, but he's not close enough to make a move going into Lecomte. Further in the background, we have contact lag, I think, actually, between Donut and Miguel. Donut ahead of the Mercedes, as also Statlev ahead of Dropux there. I thought Miguel had maybe moved over then, but oh, it's deep from Donut, and Miguel will still try and fight this back. He has problems with the traction there, trying to apply the power, and Donut is now running in 8th. And could this be a great race week for Sauber? They already potentially picked up a podium in Div 2 and now looking to pick up first Div 1 points of the season in a main race here. Yeah, the Grand Prix at Spa is where the car just seems to suit Spa, it seems. Donut with the USA Wi-Fi. Yeah, he's got the perfect combination. He can drive the Sauber and then no one can overtake him because he's got terrible connection because he's in a different continent. Evans going defensive. He knows that this is the battle he has to fight. There's no point in not trying to defend, I guess. Oh, and once again, Kalin Nantovic getting out of shape. That was all over the road there for the Red Bull. And Wilkinson, on the previous lap, laid down a bit of a gauntlet by gaining about a second there. 1.2 seconds quicker than Elyas on the previous lap. It looks like the Williams is really destroying his tyres, trying to keep up as well. Really has been destroying them. Flicking the car into corners aggressively probably is the cause. We'll watch on board here from Danny as Harris is going to try and go round on the outside on Bryn Evans, and they go side by side into Malmedy. And could Danny potentially shape for a move? He's going to brake early, he's going to cut in. He does the right thing. He potentially sneaks up the inside of Harris. He thinks against it. And Evans is still running in the podium place. Steverex does set the fastest lap on the soft compound with a yellow flag. It's Kalin Nantovic. Kalin Nantovic once again having problems. And Kalin Nantovic now losing many places, and he's out the points. So, yeah, we saw him losing the back end on many occasions, and now once again, same thing seems to have happened. Wilkinson is just managing this perfectly, but he has got that 3-second penalty, which he just picked up, I think, not that long ago. Because I did see that pop up when something else was happening, I think. But he is on a charge, and he will probably get over a 3-second gap at this point. And Harris going for the move on Evans. Evans potentially trying to sneak up the inside. There was maybe contact with Danny. And Evans now running wheel to wheel with Danny's Vart. And Evans goes wide onto the runoff. He gets a time penalty for track limits. He has to give the place back, maybe with an illegal overtake. He really tried to make a dive up the inside, and he locks the rear brakes, and he's cost himself the podium chance, I think, there. Bryn Evans now down to 7th as he tried to make an audacious move after being overtaken down the main straight. He locks up the rear brakes, way out of control. And he's now down fighting with the Sauber as Danny Zvart goes through on his teammate Rio Harris. And Evans is ahead of Donut. Evans with 3 seconds as well. That may get removed because it was a wheel-to-wheel combat. And Coyd now in 9th place. There as Harris is really close to Danny. It looks like Ferrari are going to be able to bring home 3rd and 4th. But which Ferrari is it going to be on the podium? None of them are too close to track limits. Coyd is the only one without any warnings. Penalties there. The battle for the win, though, is going to go down to the wire. But it looks like Wilkinson is just eking that gap out enough. But it's going to be crucial. He's going to need to push on this last lap. Elyas completely destroying his tyres, though, as you can see. It wouldn't surprise me if he's well over 70% by the end of this race. He's driving the wheels off of that Williams car, and he is giving it absolutely everything. And any mistake from Wilkinson, and he will likely profit. So this is not done yet. And as we start the final lap of this race, the gap will stand at about 2.5 seconds. Wilkinson needs to eke that out by another half a second. He's got the ERS, though, to do that. And as for some reason that decides to reload, but Wilkinson is trying to get away. He has the ERS. Elyas doesn't. They're going to need to be dialing it up to 11. Down the Kemmel Straight, Wilkinson. Elyas now with less power. He has no ERS. He's given it absolutely everything. But that just seems to keep reloading for no reason. But anyway, I'll have a look at that after the race, as we hope we see the timing to the end of the race. But there we go. It is... I'm scared to press anything, because I think that's just going to happen every time. But anyway, here is Tarantino. Here. And that's not really the RS we want to see, because Evans is trying to get away from Tarantino. He needs to pull a few seconds as well to the car behind. But now, going into the chicane here, Wilkinson is still fighting his way away from Elyas. He's right out to the track limit. He's giving it everything. He has the overtake on. They're fairly... The battery difference isn't actually that much at the end of the day. Elyas has saved up some, but Wilkinson, this is going to be a crucial breaking point, because Wilkinson now into the final bus stop chicane. He's managed to control the race ever since the safety car, where he was able to get his stop underway. Since then, he hasn't been challenged, and Wilkinson crosses line. It is over a 3-second lead, so Rob Wilkinson wins the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Elyas, and the gap is just over 1/10 of a second at the end. Danny on the podium ahead of Rio Harris. Donut gets up to 5th because of the time penalties for those other cars. Evans back down to 6th. Miguel in 7th. Andre Tarantino in 8th. Statlev in 9th. Dropbox in 10th with the last points. Rob Wilkinson has done it. And he's managed to climb from where he was on 4th on the grid. And he's taken the victory. What a performance for the McLaren driver. But Elyas gave it everything. Just look at that gap at the end of the race. So close. Dropbox is out somehow. I don't know what's going on there. Steverex is still on his way to finishing. He started from pole. It wasn't an ideal race for him. And I think he was involved in the incident that caused the safety car. But there we go. He will finish. He will also take the fastest lap. And there we go. As everyone has finished, and Rob wins on debut. There we go, then that's the results of the weekend. And there we go. So in the end, the gap now is 27 between Harris and Evans as it stands. Obviously, some things could be appealed and changed. And there we go. What a performance from Donut. Sauber once again finishing 5th in a race, but this time it's an actual 5th. He doesn't have any penalties or anything. Or, I mean, technically the other one was a 3rd and then it became a 5th. And this one was lower and then became a 5th. But anyway, there we go. And we'll just have a little scroll down the race director in case somebody needs to appeal track limit and they forget to do it. And there we go. We'll do some interviews now, I guess. We'll have a chat to Bryn, probably. He always likes a chat. And Elyas and anyone have a chat. Well, that was definitely different to the real life. Definitely different to the real life Belgian Grand Prix. That is for sure. Okay. Let's just see. I think if I do that, then we'll just change it to RFC, the regular RFC. Really organized I am. That's probably going to be huge. Yep. Should have known. Okay. Well then. Here's the Belgian Grand Prix. Oh, Harris.
Good day.
How was the race?
Entertaining, to say the least. Just better than what I expected, really. I'm very remorseful.
What, were you not too confident with the pace around Spa?
No, I was expecting 7th.
Yeah. I mean, I did think that you were kind of off the pace that you normally have. Kind of. Like
It's just Spa.
Yeah.
Can't get pace there.
I know, because I was in the time trials earlier, for example, and I saw you like a few tenths ahead of me. I was like, surely he's meant to be a bigger one than that. But anyway, yeah. So in the end, you managed to gain points on Bryn.
What happened to him?
He just kind of centered up the inside and locked the rears.
I guess his idol's Hamilton then.
Yeah, I think he just outbraked himself, basically. Kind of, he went for a kamikaze move up the inside, and then that.
Very fun fight though with him.
Yeah, because then you kind of you got like detached from the top two, and then it was just kind of fighting for the podium towards that.
Oh, I was speaking to Elyas during the safety car. As long as I beat Bryn, I'm happy.
Yeah, because it seemed like Rob kind of got a bit of a break, and then
lucky sod, safety car. My strategy cooked, undercut everyone.
Yeah, but then you had all the tyres at the end then. Yeah, because when you came out, you were like ahead of everyone, and then obviously, what the safety car was caused by McLaren, I think. Did you? Yeah, Steverex.
From what I've heard, Statlev crashed them out.
But, Statlev crashed out Steverex.
Apparently, but I'm not believing it till I see it.
Yeah, because no one retired, so I was like, well, I see Steverex is like way down here, so something's got to have happened.
The sprint was very fun. I made like 2 moves in Air Rouge. I hope you got those.
I think I might have seen one of them at least. So much has happened. I'm not even going to remember everything.
I went round the outside of Elyas. Air Rouge and up to Radion.
Yeah, I might have seen it. I might have not. I definitely saw something on Air Rouge with a Ferrari, I think. It's too much to keep a handle of. How do you manage it?
You see this? As soon as James isn't here, 2 Ferraris top 4.
He's already beaten. Danny's already beaten James's best result in his first ever race for Ferrari. Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy with the pace at the end, considering it's 4th.
Yeah, because I guess you two were just kind of racing it to the end then. 2 Ferraris. You weren't like. Yeah, and he was able to beat you to the flag.
I could have squeezed in more to the right, but I felt nice today.
Yeah, well, I don't have much more to say. You got anything else to say?
Well, how long's the break? Is it 1 or 2 weeks?
What do you mean? Oh, how long till the next race? It's 2 weeks till the next race. 1 week off.
For fuck's sake.
1 week off, technically.
Oh, a week off. Okay.
Yeah, there's no race next week, and then there is a race, but that means there's a 2-week gap, technically.
Boring.
Me and Eagle need to rest somehow.
Fucking Rob in the Twitch chat, 20 grand fine. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's my home race next, so.
Yeah. How do you find Silverstone?
If I don't win that, I'm disappointed. That's it. I don't know what it is. I don't feel quick around there.
Harris Stone.
But I just am. Oh wait, isn't it Singapore after?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of street. No. It's Monza, and then it's a couple of street tracks.
Oh, I'm loving life.
Yeah, it's Baku and then Singapore. Silverstone, Monza, Baku, Singapore, Austin, Interlagos, and Abu Dhabi. Only one more sprint to go now. Brazil.
That's probably the best I could have to the end of the season. Apart from Brazil. That's lovely.
No, I can't wait for Baku. Oh no.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Well, I'm gonna bring Rob in now. You can stay if you want.
Yeah, I'll just stay for a bit.
All right, Rob. Oh wait, I think I need to do the mute thing, like I always had to do before.
I thought so.
Yeah. There's like a weird thing I need to you mute and then unmute, and then it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well,
that
race winner.
Entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah, you're lucky with the safety car, you bastard.
It wasn't the intention to stay out at all. I wanted to come in, but Stevrex came in, so I kind of had no choice to just stay out, and it worked in the end. So.
Yeah, but I said at the time, luckily you had your tires were in a decent condition, because a lot of those around you were on over 80%, but I saw yours were kind of, on the verge of getting towards a puncture, but not as bad as some of those. And then the safety car, obviously.
I just saved them behind, because I was behind Evans at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just saving them because I knew I wasn't quick enough to get a move done on the mediums, so I was just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, that whole first stint was kind of a lot of waiting for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
G Diesels.
Goodbye, Rio.
Goodbye, Rio. It was quite boring just sitting in that train because it was just round and round and round. There was nothing happening apart from the top two fighting a bit.
Yeah.
When I got my 3 seconds, it was. I can't really put it into words. I just locked in, really.
Yeah.
And found that pace, especially in the middle sector, because I was gaining 4 or 5 tenths in the middle sector, just on Elyas alone.
Yeah, and then you managed the ERS to you had more ERS at the end, so He was
Yeah,
just about able to miss out by a tenth. And
the ERS strat was just weird because I had to deploy it in certain places, and it was just
but you're having to
having to
compute
see.
all of this.
Yeah, all whilst wrestling around a very good McLaren. Not really
Yeah.
wrestling in it. Then.
While he's like hanging on to that like Williams, like
He needs to be
he
nerfed,
had
man.
terrible tires at the end, like over 70%. Because he was like wrestling, throwing it in, flicking,
He seriously needs to be nerfed, man, because he's just too quick.
Yeah.
Seriously, put him in a Sauber, leave him there as well.
Yeah, we had another like esport pace driver who was joined, but
Yeah.
then he left, but he was going to be in the Sauber, and but well, at least you've been the first one to stop him in a Grand Prix. So
What,
yeah,
since he
because
joined?
he only joined last week.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's not a very impressive stat then, if he's done 2 races and
Yeah,
I stopped him once.
yeah. Well, it's no mean feat to stop him.
Well, he's in a Williams, isn't he? So.
Yeah, he's just casually driving around taking pole for like the sprint, and
I had no pace in the wet conditions at all. I was just nowhere because I was running a dry setup, so I knew it was just going to stay dry the whole
yeah,
of the rest
because
of the weekend.
because even though you can change it between the sprint and the race, the actual sprint was dry as well. So like,
Yeah, there was no point running a wet setup
yeah,
at all, especially for the limited gaming qualifying. So
yeah, because it's just going to make you a sitting duck probably.
yeah, the sprint went awful as well. So
Yeah, but
I got involved in a couple of collisions and it was just race over from then. I
yeah,
had wing damage after
yeah,
putting it in all by myself.
yeah. I think I did see you. I think both McLarens got
Yeah,
damage at some point.
Stefan went off.
One of you crashed like after Les Combes, and someone else got like
Yeah,
some moved into the other one in like towards the end of the middle sector, and
I
like
mean, I
it knocked
spun.
off the end plate. I think.
I spun by myself twice at the exit of Lacon. So
Yeah,
one, I heard it on the stream. You said who had spun it with me, just nearly putting it in a wall casually. I normally do that when I was on old tires under pressure, but I'm
yeah,
not the greatest at keeping because when I'm under pressure with old tires, I feel the need to push, and obviously I can't on them tires.
yeah. But there we go. Your first ever race, and you've won it. 100% win record. You can retire now.
Yeah,
No
right.
one
I'll
else
take
ever beating that.
I mean, right, I've got a stint to do on LMU, so jumping off F1 and doing a 2-hour stint in hypercars. So
Yeah. So a bit
right,
of a difference. But
well, I'm Max Verstappen in that case. Right,
well done. And we hope to
thank
see
you.
you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hello.
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Right.
Well, how did that go really? Because yeah.
What? Which part?
No, well, qualifying was good.
That doesn't really matter, does it though? Nah, when I pitted, they got one of the wheel nuts jammed, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, because then you were. Because where did the race start to go wrong? Because there was like one point where I saw you like brake into the bus stop, and you just kind of went straight on, and then you pitted at that point.
Yeah, my tyres went, nah, they're going to sleep, so
Yeah.
I'm going to pit.
Yeah. And then
To be
obviously the
honest,
safety car came out.
yeah, the downfall was the sprint
Yeah.
because I went off there on the last lap and then I was braking early every time.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of were hesitant because you kind of hit the back of Bryn a little bit, didn't you? Like
Yeah.
when you were on the brakes.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, and you might have a new team for the next race anyway. It's a
Yeah,
fresh start.
Yeah, I'll sign 2 contracts, so see which team gets me first. Whichever releases it first, isn't it?
But then also like later on the race, you lost. You broke your wing as well. I don't
Oh
exactly know what
yeah.
happened.
Aston lifted into the bus stop to let Ferrari by, like on the straight,
Right.
and then he moved on the braking as I was going past him, so he punted me off basically.
Yeah.
And then I got bored, and I went, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go play foot champs. So I smashed into the wall, and then I retired.
Where did you smash it into the wall?
Pit.
Alright.
Straight.